Warning: the following review contains spoilers.
Is this one of the best episodes of NuWho? Stick around and you'll find out why. What can I say about The Legend of Ruby Sunday? It was smart, exciting, tense. It had a villain from one of my favourite classic Who stories, and I was transfixed throughout the whole episode. It's great to have RTD back after the utter, embarrassing, clickbait piece of hack churned out wrappings droppings of a script last week. So I'm going to go through what I liked and what I didn't like about the story. So first of all, it was great the way it gave 2 stars the opportunity to redeem themselves. Bonnie Langford is just amazing as Mel. I mean, she was great in the other story, but she's great this time round as well.
I love her so much.
And it's lovely to have an insight into how UNIT utilises former assistants. Yasmin Finney appears to have had some acting lessons and is now not doing an impersonation of a plank of wood.
You can act!
I mean, although she does appear to have absolutely nothing to do in this episode and even admits that herself.
It's like we're on a mission. They never give me proper work. They had me investigating shoplifting in Catford.
But thank God the script avoided making her the know-it-all entitled brat she was in The Beast.
You're assuming he as a pronoun. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Lovely little explanation of Susan.
If you've got a granddaughter, that means you've got kids.
Well, not quite. Not yet.
The fact that Doctor knows his granddaughter, however, due to timey-wimey stuff, he still hasn't actually had his daughter yet.
Maybe he already has. Just a bit unlikely. Brilliant! You were brilliant!
I really enjoyed the science of the time window. Being a bit of an AI enthusiast myself, I could see the possibilities of this technology. We can already expand photographs, put in visual and text prompts and sharpen images in seconds on an ordinary laptop. The whole sequence was well played out and wonderfully acted, right down to Colonel Chidozi, who may as well have just worn a red shirt from Star Trek, as it's pretty obvious he was going to die. It's a shame. He was actually a really great character. And there's been debates about, whether a VHS would still be used in 2004. And I have to say, it's definitely a yes, it would be. One of the last Hollywood films actually released on VHS was in 2006. I think it was called A History of Violence. So it's feasible for a CCTV camera to still be using VHS, especially if it's maybe like in a low crime area. The pace of the episode was second to none, and so was the tension. It built and built until we finally got to find out who our villain was. I have to be honest, I did not see that. There was the Susan technology, Sue-Tech bit, the whole Susan theory was kind of running through about his granddaughter, and it was enough of a misdirection for me not to see the reveals.
It was the wrong anagram.
Top marks to RTD on that one. I mean, it totally threw me, and on one hand I was really overjoyed to see that this character was back, but almost straight away I kind of thought to myself, apart from old Git fans like myself and hardcore fans, would anyone else actually know who he is? Especially even really enthusiastic NuWho's, I mean, my daughter certainly had no idea who he was. So if you are like a NuWho person, I'd love to know your thoughts or your comments about this. To me, it was a little bit like when I went to watch Avengers at the cinema. I went with 3 geeky friends, okay? And when Thanos was at the end, we went, oh my God, it's Thanos. But you could feel almost the whole cinema going, huh? Who was that? But aside from that, it was brilliant for me. Sue-Tech's from Pyramids of Mars from 1975, and it's a story I hold close to my heart. It was a story that terrified me the most as a child, and I found that actually recently, the reason why it's so embedded in my memory is because it actually repeated it like a 63-minute episode. So not only did they make me scared the first time round, they actually shoved the whole thing together in an hour's episode and terrified me again. I remember watching that episode through my fingers because our sofa was pushed up against the wall. Otherwise, I would have hid behind it.
That's good. That's good. I'm scared.
It all tied in with the He Who Waits, as it was firmed up in the end of episode 4 of Pyramid Mars that he would have lived another 7,000 years before he died. And it also cements that actually how powerful he was, okay, which is also mentioned in the episode. Pyramids of Mars is a brilliant story from the classic era with a fantastic plot, great actors, great characters. If you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it highly enough. And wasn't it brilliant to have Gabriel Wolf back as the voice of Sue-Tech? Because he did actually play the part in Pyramid of Mars. Not bad, for a man 91 years old. Again, I take my hat off to you. Love the fact that Susan actually ended up just being a vessel for Sutek rather than an actual villain themselves. Another bit of misdirection there. Really brilliant to see that Mrs. Flood has this dark side. We've been wondering about her for ages, and all of a sudden she's like, no, I'm not going to make you a cup of tea. There's a storm coming now. Shut up!
Well, we'd all like a lot of things that aren't going to happen. I'd be very careful, Mrs. Sunday. There's a storm coming in. He waits no more.
All in all, it was an excellent episode. And now I have to say my negatives. Be honest with you, my negatives are just nitpicking and didn't really bother me that much. As I said, I was happy to see Rose improve as a character, but I was a little bit confused about the fact that she admits that she doesn't really have anything much to do at UNIT, and all in all it made her character a little bit redundant, and it makes me wonder, why was she in it at all? If she wasn't in the episode, would it have really made any difference to the actual narrative? I also wasn't overly impressed with the character of Morris Gibbons. I couldn't see the point of introducing yet another new character in a scene where there were far too many people hanging about waiting to say their lines. That was one of my many gripes about the Chibnall era. I found his character actually jarred an otherwise excellent episode with unnecessary exposition.
And I'm Morris Gibbons, Unit Scientific Advisor, 13 years old, accelerated genius.
Go off.
Shirley Ann Bingham, played by Ruth Madeley, was clearly busy doing something else, and I liked her character, and it was sorely missed, as this episode would have been a nice way just to expand her character a little bit further. Was it one of the best episodes of NuWho? Yes, it was. I mean, it's not perfect, but yes, for me this was a winner. All in all, a massive improvement on last week's episode, and I look forward to the finale, Empire of Death. Death. Agree or disagree? Please leave your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.